The Thursday afternoon sun wavered, indecisively, spilling half-hearted, warmth over the quiet suburban street. For Eleanor Vance, the decision had already been made. She stood on her porch in worn slippers, clutching a grocery bag warm with rotisserie chicken and fresh bread. 32 years of habit told her this was home, yet the key refused to turn. She tried again, harder, flipped it. Nothing. Her breath caught. The lock was new. That a hesitant knock. Then another. The door opened a crack, revealing a woman Eleanor had never seen. "Oh, hey," the stranger said, brows lifting in surprise. "You weren't supposed to be back yet." Eleanor blinked. "I live here. Why can't I get in?" The woman, Chloe, slipped outside and closed the door firmly behind her. Liam was supposed to explain. Explain. What? You don't live here anymore. The words landed like a blade. Eleanor's grip on the bag tightened. Chloe offered a nervous smile. "Look, it's just paperwork." Liam said, "You signed the deed transfer." Memories surfaced like a trap, snapping shut papers. Liam's casual reassurances about housekeeping and protecting assets. She had trusted him blindly. Chloe mumbled something about calling Liam and vanished back. Inside, locking the door with a definitive click. Eleanor stood frozen. Groceries cooling, the world tilting. Liam hadn't just taken her house. He had taken something deeper. But Liam had underestimated her. Decades earlier, Eleanor had been more than a homeowner. As a nurse at Mercy Hospital in 1998, she had carried scars of failed pregnancies, silent grief carved in her bones. Then came Liam, a 2-year-old boy, abandoned by his foster mother. He clung to her scrubs, refusing food unless she fed him. Within months, she gave him her name. Her friends teased, trying to save the world. "No," she'd reply, "just this one." She raised him with every ounce of love she possessed. Dinosaur bed sheets, piano lessons, thank you notes. But the cracks showed. By high school, distance replaced affection. By college, visits were rare. Still, she kept his room ready, lights on, faith unshaken. When her husband Robert died 3 years ago, Liam reappeared. He mowed the lawn, brought Chloe, and sat on the porch as if they were healing. She believed him. Tragedy. He hadn't returned to mend, but to measure. That night, Eleanor slept in. Her car 2 blocks away. She didn't cry. Grief was familiar. When Robert's misdiagnosed clot stole him, she had felt the same hollowing. But this betrayal was a sharper wound. By morning, she was at the bank. Her balance was untouched, as expected. Liam didn't know about the settlement. The $9.5 million she had won in a malpractice suit after Robert's death, hidden in a trust under her maiden name. It had remained her silent weapon. Liam thought he had taken everything he hadn't done in a motel room. Eleanor opened her notebook. At the back was a scroll she once wrote. "Don't let money make you loud. Let make you quiet. Let it buy you time." She smiled. Liam hadn't evicted her. He had freed her. She replayed the moment he tricked her. Sunday afternoon, kitchen warm with sweet potato pie. Liam folder in hand. Chloe scrolling on her phone. Just standard stuff, mom. Trust paperwork. Real estate transfer. Protecting assets. Her brow had furrowed. "I didn't ask to avoid anything." He laughed. "That's why we're doing it for you. If something happens, God forbid, it avoids a mess. Just sign here." Page after page. Signature after signature. She had wanted to protest, but then she saw not a grown man with schemes, but the fragile boy who once cried at night, unless her hand was in his. So she signed. After that, visits grew shorter. his tone colder. He even called her Eleanor in front of Chloe. The final fracture came when she overheard Chloe whisper, "Once we close on this place, we can finally get that apartment in Seattle." That's when Eleanor quietly began packing a small emergency bag. Now, in her motel room, she spread her notes across the bed. Chloe had called this just paperwork. Liam had called it keeping things in the family. But Ella Laner understood now it wasn't about family. It was about conquest. And she wasn't finished because Liam had overlooked the one truth Eleanor Vance had lived by. She had survived heartbreak, miscarriages, widowhood, and decades of quiet loneliness. She was still here, and she had resources Liam couldn't imagine. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost ignored it, but something urged her to answer. "Mrs. Vance," a man's voice said, low and deliberate. "I know what Liam did, and I think I can help you get it all back." Eleanor froze, pen poised above her notebook. She had no idea who he was or what he wanted, but one thing was certain: this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. The day Eleanor Vance became a guest in her own home, she didn't cry or shout. She simply gripped the vacuum handle tighter and listened to her son dismantle her world with casual cruelty. It was a Wednesday. She had just finished vacuuming when Liam strolled in, sunglasses perched, earbuds dangling. "Next time you use the vacuum," he said, "empty it out. We've got people coming to see the place this weekend." "People?" she asked. "Realtors, just to get a feel for the value." "Market research." Her voice tightened. "Our options, your guest now, Mom. It's still your space, but legally, well, you know." That night, Eleanor packed a small bag, her Bible, passport, Robert's photograph, a few clothes, her wedding band, and a notebook with the details of the secret $9.5 million settlement. Liam didn't ask where she was going. He thought he had already taken everything to a motel desk. She found an old number for Clarence C.J. Bell, a retired attorney and friend. When he answered, gruff and half asleep, she whispered, "It's Eleanor. I need your help." They met the next morning at a diner. CJ looked older, beard fully white, but his eyes still sharp. "You look like hell," he said, sliding into the booth. "Good morning to you, too," she replied. "Over. Coffee." She told him everything. The trick papers, the new locks, Liam calling her a guest. CJ listened, then leaned back. "He played you," he said, "but he forgot who raised him." "I signed a deed, CJ. I handed it over. Signing under false pretenses isn't legal. If you were misled, the court will side with you. I could argue this." Blindfolded, her voice cracked. "I don't want to destroy him. I just want to feel like I wasn't a fool." "Then don't destroy him," CJ said. "Teach him." She nodded. Then she told him about the settlement. His mug nearly slipped. "You've been sitting on $9.5 million while letting him walk over you. I didn't want money to change how I loved him," she whispered. CJ reached across the table. "It didn't." He did, before filings began. Eleanor went back for one final conversation. Liam opened the door, irritation plain. "Mom, what are you doing here?" "I don't need long," she said. "If this is about the house I raised you," she cut in, voice firm. "Not because I had to, but because I saw a child who needed love. I gave you everything. Time, sleep, even my health. And you repaid me with a signature and a lock. You signed, Mom. I didn't force you. Don't call me Mom if you don't mean it." She studied herself. "I'm not here to fight. I just want you to know I'm not broke. I could buy this house 10 times over. I've spoken to a lawyer. This will go where it needs to go. I only came to look you in the eye first. Shock flickered across his face. Disbelief, then shame. She turned and walked away. Point 3. Months later, the house was empty. The judge, unimpressed by Liam's manipulation, reversed the transfer. Liam never appeared in court. Chloe left for Seattle without him. Eleanor didn't gloat. She only exhaled as though letting go of decades of grief, but she didn't return. The house was too full of ghosts. Instead, she used her settlement to buy 3 homes in the next town, turning them into safe housing for abandoned older women. She named it the Robert Place after her late husband. The first resident, Alma, had been discarded by her son. The second, Darlene, lost her home while in the hospital. On Sundays, Eleanor cooked dinner, and together they built a new kind of family, bound not by blood but survival. 1 year later, sitting on the porch of the Robert Place with tea in hand, Eleanor opened a letter addressed only to her. Inside was a note in shaky handwriting. I messed up. I hope you're okay, Liam. She folded it and placed it in her Bible. Forgiveness, she realized, wasn't about freeing him. It was about freeing herself. That a home Eleanor knew wasn't 4 walls. It was the people inside. And this time she had built one that could never be stolen.